This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another live stream. We're doing this one on a Friday because I'm supporting local music tomorrow. Terrence Simeon is playing doing a live stream, so normally I'd be on it on a Saturday, but figured I'd do it a little bit early. So this is a very special live stream because we are celebrating Tapestry, the Carole King album, which turned 50 on February 10th, so on Wednesday. And it's so funny because this particular album, in listening to it, it's just some of the best songwriting that I've ever heard, and I don't throw that out there lightly because I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan, obviously, and even though Bob Dylan was around, prior to Carole King, or they actually kind of came up around the same time, just in different ways, but so much of what was on Tapestry shaped the singer-songwriter movement of the 1970s, and so a lot of the, I guess, mannerisms, colloquialisms of the record, of the various songs on the record, you would see, in other records that were released throughout the decade. But with all of that said, a lot of the reviews and stuff that I've been reading, or not really reviews, but just people retrospectively reflecting on this album, they said that, it's such an incredible album, but it did everything it could do to just be simple. And I think that that's part of the beauty of it too. But it's also just, it's very simple, hence why I had the nerve to transpose it onto the guitar, but that's just it. It's about the lyrics, and it's a very dynamic record too. But you just hear the simplicity both in the lyrics and in her voice. And then, in the instrumentals too. So without further ado, to quote a phrase, quote a friend of mine, Amber Ray Dunn, let us get started here. This is the first track, and what a way to get started. This is I Feel the Earth Move, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I feel my heart start to trembling whenever you're around. Ooh, baby, baby, when I see your face, mellow as the month of May. No, darling, I can't stand it when you look at me that way. I'm in the earth move under my feet. I'm in the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I'm in my heart started trembling whenever you're around. Oh, darling, when you're near me and you tenderly call my name, I know that my emotions are something I can't tame. I just gotta have you, baby. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I feel my heart start to trembling whenever you're around. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I feel my heart start to trembling whenever you're around, whenever you're around. All right, and that was "I Feel the Earth Move" by Carole King. Just a phenomenal way to start off the record. Tapestry, which, like I said, turned 50 on February 10th. And yeah, the cool thing about that song is that it starts out, so fiery with that piano and all of that, and with these really positive lyrics. And then the very next track is "So Far Away," and a lot of this album reflected Carole King's move out to California. She was from New York originally, and her marriage kind of fell apart to Jerry Goffin, and so she moved out, and so a lot of the songs reflected that. But it's really interesting because I still view this as a concept album, but and we'll kind of get to that lyrically in a little bit, but the concept of it being a happy record kind of falls apart rather quickly, unravels very quickly, and so this separation from Jerry, who, by the way, his birthday was yesterday, so they were like 2 days apart. Carole King's birthday is on the 9th, and then his is on the 11th, so he would have been 79 this year. But anyway, a lot of the sadness that came with that separation was reflected in this record. And so this is a song called "So Far Away," and I hope you enjoy it. So far away, doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? It would be so fine to see your face at my door. Doesn't have to know, you're just time away. Long ago I reached for you and there you stood. Can't say much of anything that's new. If I could work this life my way, I'd rather spend it being with you. But you're so far away, doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? It would be so fine to see your face at my door. Doesn't help to know that you're so far away. Yeah, you're so far away. Traveling around sure gets me lonely. Nothing else to do but close my mind. I sure hope the road don't come to own me. There's so many dreams I've yet to find, but you're so far away. Doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? It would be so fine to see your face at my door. And it doesn't help to know that you're so far away. Yeah, you're so far away. Hey, you're so far away. All right, and that was "So Far Away" by Carole King. Now, you were probably wondering at this point in time what the heck is going on with that title. My mom's a big fan of yours, and I forgot to bring it up in the front end, and I really wanted to talk about it, but we'll probably forget if I don't do it now. So there's a book called, I think it's called So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star by Jacob Schlichter, who is the drummer of Semisonic. And he wrote the book while they were on hiatus, but there were a lot of, just great stories from the road and just their lives as musicians. And one of them was when they were writing for All About Chemistry. They wrote this song called One True Love, and I can't remember if Dan Wilson had written the song already, or if they just automatically kind of got the collaboration with Carole King. But anyway, at some point, they worked it out so that Carole King would be on this record. And so she's on the phone, and somebody says, "Hey, Dan," Dan Wilson, the lead singer, says, Dan, Carole King's on the phone. And he goes, "Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me?" And was just freaking out. And so, they worked it out. He collected himself and whatever. And then, when she was in the studio, she came to the studio, and the first thing that Dan said to her was, "My mom's a big fan of yours." And she said, "Wow, thanks. You just made me feel really old." And I just think that story is hilarious. Now, of course, my mother is a big fan of Carole King, as am I, as is Dan Wilson, I should say. But that she's just timeless in so many ways. And the big reason for this record being so timeless is because she's got a great voice, but it's a very relatable voice, and it's a very relatable lyric. And so, that's just one of those things that that's why she has stood the test of time. And the interesting thing about this, because along or around this time every year, it kind of makes me think of a particular relationship that went bad around this time. And oddly, it happened on February 10th, which was the release date of Tapestry, for what it's worth to any of you conspiracy theorists out there. But anyway, the thing about it is that, maybe Carole King can predict the future, 40 some years in advance. However, I think that the big reason why, dates aside, why this album is so relatable, and a song like So Far Away, is that the person in question, we lived about 15 minutes apart from each other. I didn't have a car, but it just it felt like we were so close. But then, in a lot of senses, it kind of felt like we were so far away. And she literally was, but it's relatable in the biggest and smallest sense. And then the line that follows, the "Doesn't anybody stay in love anymore," or stay in one place anymore, I should say. And it's just such a relatable line, such a simple lyric, but there's so much to it. And that's just the genius of Carole King. And I think, like I mentioned earlier, that the unraveling, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that relationships can unravel just like that. And that's part of the power of the track order, is it kind of brings you through the ups and downs, and you hear the ups at the very beginning, and you're like, "Ooh, this is going to be a positive record," and then nope, not really. And so there are bouts of it, but it's just one of those things. Just phenomenal. So this is the next track, and that is "It's Too Late." Stayed in bed all morning just to pass the time. There's something wrong here, there can be no denying. One of us is changing, or maybe we just stopped trying. And it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really didn't try to make it, something inside has died and I can't hide. I just can't fake it, oh no, no. It used to be so easy living here with you. You were light and breezy, I knew just what to do. Now you look so unhappy, and I look just like a fool. And it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it, something inside has died and I just can't fake it, oh no, no, no. There'll be good times for me and you, but we just can't stay together, don't you feel it too? Still I'm glad for what we had, and now I love you. But it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it, something inside has died and I can't fake it, oh no, no, no. And it's too late, baby, it's too late now, darling, it's too late. All right, and that was It's Too Late by Carole King, like everything off of today's live stream, tonight's live stream off of Tapestry, her, I believe it was her third album, but it was only her second solo album, because she had played in a band in like 68, and they released an album. And I think she might have had one more before. This might have even been her fourth album, but second solo record. But this is another one of my favorites, and one song or lyric, I guess, that I've really been attached to over quarantine is the line "Home was a dream, one I'd never seen until you came along," from Cover Me Up by Jason Isbell, not Morgan Wallen and his racist ass. But anyway, that's kind of what Home Again reminds me of. And, home, it's become a cliche, but Carole King can probably lay claim to starting the cliche, before it became cliched to have home be that. But Home Again is just a beautiful song to me, and it's got this really unique structure that you're going to see as well. But this is Home Again, and I hope you enjoy it. Sometimes I wonder if I'm ever gonna make it home again. It's so far and out of sight. I really need someone to talk to, and nobody else knows how to comfort me tonight. Snow is cold, the rain is wet, chills my bones right down to the marrow. I won't be happy until I'm making home again, till I'm home again and feeling right. I won't be happy until I see you alone again, till I'm at home again and feeling right. Snow is cold, the rain is wet, chills my soul right now to the marrow. I won't be happy till I see you alone again, till I'm home again and feeling right. Till I'm home again and feeling right. I wanna be at home again and feeling right. All right, and that was Home Again. Like I said, just a really, really beautiful song. And, uh, it's like I said, home has kind of become a little bit of a cliche. But I think what makes that work for Carole King in the context of this record was, her move coast to coast from New York to California. And that, there was the literal home, but then it was, who I feel comfortable with. And that's just a really really interesting thing that now it kind of gets overused, but again, she set the template for it, and definitely deserves that credit there. So for those of you who don't know, most of you probably do, but there's a Carole King musical that was on Broadway a couple of years ago, and might still be on there. I mean, obviously, COVID aside, but it's really good from what my mom has said. She got the chance to go see it, and it's called Beautiful, the Carole King musical, and it was actually named after this song. So this is Beautiful, and I hope you enjoy it. You gotta get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. Waiting at the station, a workday wind blowing. I've got nothing better to do than watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces, I see frustration growing. They all don't see it showing. Why do I? You gotta get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful, beautiful as you feel. I've often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answer, maybe love can end the madness, maybe not, oh, but we can only try. You gotta get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful, beautiful as you feel. All right, and that was Beautiful by Carole King, again off Tapestry, which we are celebrating all of tonight. And so I knew a lot of the songs on Tapestry, but this one was a little bit new to me in revisiting it, and that's actually how I caught wind of the anniversary. Was listening to WEVL. It feels like I plug them every week for some musical thing that they tip me off to, but this is Way Over Yonder. And it was interesting because I was listening to it and I was like, this sounds like Carole King, but it was like a little jazzier, and so I wasn't entirely sure. She's got jazz in her, obviously, but it sounded like like something from a musical or something along the, or not even a musical, but like, I don't know, like the Wizard of Oz, like, because it had that kind of Somewhere Over the Rainbow feel to it, even though it wouldn't necessarily be in the Wizard of Oz. But anyway, so I looked it up, and oh yeah, sure enough, that was on Tapestry as well. And so this is Way Over Yonder, and I hope you enjoy it. Way over yonder is a place that I know, where I get my shelter from hunger and cold, and the sweet tasting good life is so easily found. Way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. I know when I get there, the first thing I'll see is the sun shining golden, shining right down on me. Then trouble's gonna lose me, worry leave me behind, and I'll stand up proudly in true peace of mind. Way over yonder is a place I have seen, in a garden of wisdom from some long ago dream. Maybe tomorrow I'm on my way to the land where the honey runs rivers each day, and the sweet tasting good life is so easily found. Way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. All right, and that was Way Over Yonder by Carole King. And that closes out the first side of Tapestry. So let's all flip our records over and go to side 2. Now, this next song was like some of the other songs on this particular record were cut by other artists before Carole King could record them herself. And this is You've Got a Friend. And this is one that, although it was written about Jerry Goffin, it was cut by James Taylor and really made famous by him in about '67, I want to say. But it's just a really, really, really good song. And it was interesting because obviously with all of these, I'm kind of doing my own arrangements. And if I could sound like Carole King except on the guitar, COVID aside, I probably wouldn't be doing these live streams. But that's another story. So I kind of did my own arrangement of it, and as I was working this out, for some reason I heard The Loadout by Jackson Browne in there, and you know, the Carole King, Jackson Browne, all of the singer-songwriters in California in the 70s, just, you know, I'm sure they kind of fed off of each other and whatever. So that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with, like, a lot of the mannerisms of this particular record really shaped a lot of things in the singer-songwriter genre for the decade to come. So this is You've Got a Friend, and I hope you enjoy. When you're down in your trouble and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'm running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there. You got a friend in the sky above you, grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow. Keep your hand together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You got a friend. Now ain't it good to know you friend when people can be so cold. They'll hurt you and desert you and take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. All right, and that was You've Got a Friend. Now, similarly, this next song follows kind of a similar theme, and this is Where You Lead. Now, as I was listening to this, it was kind of hard for me to wrap my head around the rhyme scheme because it's the 1-2-1-2 like rhyme scheme, and so like looking at those, it can be a little bit daunting. But for anybody who says that, you know, Carole King isn't, you know, she's a better songwriter than she is a performer or singer. Actually, she for a while was in that camp too, to be 100% fair. But it's all in the delivery, and the way that she sells the lyric is by, you know, going on these runs that I, of course, will not. But I mean, I'll do a little bit, but I won't be able to hit her notes necessarily. But you knew what you were getting into when you tuned in. So this is Where You Lead, and I hope you enjoy it. Want you the way I do, I only want to be with you, and I wouldn't go to the ends of the earth, 'cause darling, to me that's what you're worth. Where you lead, I will follow anywhere that you want me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow where you lead. If you're out on the road, feeling lonely and so alone, all you have to do is call my name, and I'll be there on the next train. Where you lead, I will follow anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow where you lead. I always wanted a real home with flowers in the windowsill, but if you want to live in New York City, honey, you know I will. I never thought I could get satisfaction from only one man, but if anyone else could keep me happy, you know you're the one who can. And where you lead, I will follow anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow wherever you lead. Where you lead, I will follow anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow wherever you lead. I will follow wherever you lead. All right, and that was Where You Lead, again off of Tapestry, which we are celebrating today. Now, one of the songs that Carole King recorded for this particular album was actually, this is another one that was recorded by another artist prior to her cutting it, but this is Will You Love Me Tomorrow? And she had a much slower, more somber version of this particular album, or of this particular song, I should say. And so I guess she was the one who wrote it originally, so that's kind of how it was interpreted in her head. But this is Will You Love Me Tomorrow? Tonight, you're mine completely. You give your love so sweetly. Tonight, the light of love is in your eyes, but when you still love me tomorrow, is this a lasting treasure, or just a moment's pleasure? Can I believe the magic of your sighs? Will you still love me tomorrow? Tonight, with words unspoken, you say I'm the only one, but will my heart be broken when the night meets the morning sun? I'd like to know that your love is one I can't be sure of. So tell me now, and I won't ask again. Will you still love me tomorrow? Will you still love me tomorrow? Will you still love me tomorrow? All right, and that was Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, or Will You Love Me Tomorrow, even though the line is Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? But next one, this is a little bit of a wild card, but one of the things that I mentioned was how Carole King influenced what would be coming in the 1970s, the decade for music, and down to the name used, Jack. This reminded me a fair amount of Lily Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts. Just some funky stuff going on, and written in third person. Not quite as detailed, or not quite as long, at least. Different types of details. A little bit more concise. But this is Smackwater Jack, and I hope you enjoy it. Now Smackwater Jack, he bought a shotgun, 'cause he was in the mood for a little confrontation. He just just let it all hang loose. He didn't think about the noose. He couldn't take no more abuse, so he shot down the congregation. You can't talk to a man with a shotgun in his hand, shotgun. Now Big Jim the Chief, he stood for law and order. He got more than governments around the border. Now from his bulldog mouth, as he led the posse south, came the cry, we got to ride. Clean up the streets for our wives and daughters. You can't talk to a man when he don't wanna understand. No, 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 no. The account of the capture wasn't in the papers, but you know they ain't no smack then instead of later. You know people were quite pleased, 'cause the outlaw had been seized. And on the whole it was a very good year for the undertaker. You can't talk to a man with a shotgun in his hand, shotgun. Smang water jack, talking about smang water jack, yeah. Smang water jack, talking about smack, talking about jack, talking about smack water jack. All right, and that was Smackwater Jack by Carole King. There were a couple of them, So It's Too Late and Smackwater Jack, that have this really cool bluesy feel to them that lend themselves very, very well to guitar. Even though I, didn't necessarily. I kind of made the arrangement a little bit more bluesy for It's Too Late. But by the way, I forgot to mention when I was playing Where You Lead, that was the theme song to Gilmore Girls. And when I was going through stuff for this album, I realized that because Carole King posted something on Facebook, where the two of us are Facebook friends, in case you didn't know. But she posted something on Facebook saying like, "Oh, thank you to," I can't even remember her name, but it was the creator of Gilmore Girls, for all the kind words. And I was, what? And so then I realized, okay, well, that must have been it, that it was one of her songs, and it was Where You Lead. And similar to, being so accommodating to Semisonic and Dan Wilson, she, the creator was like, okay, I'd love to use this song, but I don't know how we're going to do it. And so apparently, her people got in contact with Carole's people, and she goes, and next thing I know, I'm on the phone with Carole King, and she's like, yeah, I definitely am cool with you using my song, but she said, I don't think it fully fits. So would you be okay with it if I, recorded a new version that was just special to your show? And so it was like just above and beyond. She apparently did a cameo, made a cameo in a couple of the episodes. And so just like, that was kind of the thing of the article, was that she's just like one of the best songwriters of all time, but, is one of the most humble people of all time. And which can't be said for my favorite songwriter, but, that is for another time. So that was Smackwater Jack. And speaking of Bob Dylan, um, because I just can't go a single live stream without bringing him up. But first of all, there was a Jeopardy clue about him today, which was really exciting. But I mentioned that there were multiple characters, and then I backtracked on that. So Jack and Jim were both characters in Lily Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts. So there's a little Carole King influence potentially on Bob Dylan. But this is going to be the last song that I play for the night. And if you are listening and or watching, I should say, and you're following along with the track listing, you will notice that I egregiously left out "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman." But you're welcome. It's a phenomenal song that I am not going to be able to pull off. And I thought that I'd be able to get Carole to, come and sing, but, she was a little busy. At least that's what she told me. And, that's just one of those things. However, in fitting with this being a concept album, I actually feel like this is a little bit more of a better last song than "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman," and so that ended up working out nicely. But this is a really good way to close out the record. And even though this isn't actually how it closes out the record, this is how I'm going to close out my celebration of the record. So this is the title track to Tapestry, and I hope you enjoy it. My life has been a tapestry of a rich and royal hue, an everlasting vision of the ever-changing view, a wondrous woven magic in bits of blue and gold, a tapestry to feel and see, impossible to hold. Once amid the soft silver sadness in the sky, there came a man of fortune, a drifter passing by. He wore a torn and tattered cloth around his leathered hide, and a coat of many colors, yellow, green on either side. He moved with some uncertainty, as if he didn't know just what he was there for, or what he ought to go. He reached for something golden, hanging from a tree, and his hand came down empty. Soon within my tapestry, along the rugged road, he sat down on a river rock and turned into a toad. It seemed that he had fallen into someone's wicked spell, and I wept to see him suffer, though I didn't know him well. As I watched in sorrow, there he suddenly appeared, a gray and ghostly figure beneath a flowing beard. In times of deepest darkness, I've seen him dressed in black. Now my tapestry's unraveling, he's come to take me back. He's come to take me back. All right, and that was Tapestry, both the title track and closing out the record, which turned 50 on Wednesday. Just absolutely incredible. One of the reflections said they don't make records like that anymore, and they don't for multiple reasons, none of which are good. But just, man, just absolutely amazing, that record. So happy birthday to that album, and to Carole King. Belated happy birthday to her. Jerry Goffin, and thank you to all who made that album so special, the co-writers, the producers, and all of that. I will be back next week on Saturday with another live stream. Haven't quite decided what it is. I think I know what I want it to be. But we'll see if that pans out, because I'm still writing some stuff. But signing off, I'm Minnesota Mike. Check me out on Instagram and Spotify, iTunes, as well, Facebook, and then obviously YouTube. Thank you so much.